What's going on, guys? So in this video, we're going to break down the exact process, strategy, and tactics, and also the math behind adding $100,000 to your business's top line, i.e. revenue, as fast as possible using a cold email first strategy. As per usual, all strategy and tactics that will be talked about in this video and document are ones that we have actually employed at my agency, Vintascale, and or that we are currently employing to this day. This is for B2B businesses and agency owners looking to sell cold email, deal generation as a service, or to use cold email to market an existing service or offer. As a prelude to the main content of this file, our best clients typically see the following stats: campaign launch within 7 to 14 days, an added deal flow of $100,000 to $200,000 per month by the end of our engagement, a close rate of 40 to 45% of all deal flow generated when we handle the appointment setting process ourselves on their behalf, and $250,000 in new revenue added to the business within 6 months of our initial engagement. Now, full disclosure, there are prerequisites that make this a possible and realistic scenario, most notably that our clients bill high ticket, they have a very defined ICP, and that they have an ironed out sales process so they can close the leads and deals that we generate for them. Nevertheless, it is not uncommon that we, and I specifically, will come in and help them craft such an offer or consult on the best ICP and marketing strategy in order to maximize profits. We are currently shifting towards a focus of prioritizing client work with businesses doing over $1 million in annual recurring revenue. That equates to about $80,000 in monthly recurring revenue, thereby raising our minimum threshold for client work from $30K a month to $80K a month as of the time of this video, with a focus on adding cold email as a client acquisition channel and helping them scale further by designing premium offers, i.e. high ticket offers optimized for cold traffic for maximum profit. That being said, I'll be showing you everything so that you can get in on this AI and cold email hype train early and in the right way, make a stupid amount of money and decimate your competition. If you are a B2B business owner, you can take this and apply it to your business to scale quickly. As always, this document is available for free download. Just hit the description, click the link, put in your email in Gumroad, and it'll be free. I'll send it to you via email, plus some more no BS tips and advice throughout the week to help you scale your business and get richer. With that being said, if you don't know who I am, my name is Pablo. I'm the founder of Vintascale, a B2B AI marketing agency. We currently generate over $250,000 per month in deal flow for our clients with AI and cold email. Making this video because my goal is very simple. It's to help you make more money, because when you make more money, you'll trust me more. You might become a client of mine and make even more money, and then I will make more money and we'll all be richer. I've done this twice now, scaling 2 different businesses to multiple 6 figures in a very short time frame, and now I'm building my marketing agency Vintascale in real time in front of you all, which I've been documenting since day one. These files and documents and videos are part of this daily documentation and serve as a playbook on how to scale a 7-figure business in the world of AI. I'm simply documenting what I'm doing in real time, along with our learnings, findings, and real-time results, so that you know without a shadow of a doubt that this works. I put out no BS content if it's your first time here, and I would recommend you download this document for free once you're done watching this and go through it to make sure you're applying it, because most people binge content but don't ever actually do anything with it, and that's why they stay poor. As always, I make no income claims. My results are not typical. If it's your first time here, here's a quick $500,000 in social proof, $28,000 worth of deals generated in 7 days with 1 cold email campaign, case study on how I scaled 2 different businesses to multiple 6 figures, a current cold email campaign and architecture that we built for an active client of ours that's generating about $40,000 a week in deal flow, screenshots of active clients and us handing off these deals to the clients with their reaction, more internal campaigns, that's another $100,000 in deal flow generated with cold email, client case study, testimonial interviews, the behind the scenes of how we build the architecture, so on and so forth. All this stuff is available on my channel. Watch my content, download this document, apply it, and you will become one of the most lethal cold emailers and entrepreneurs on the planet. Now, let's talk about how to make $100,000 or 6 figures with cold email as fast as possible. Again, I'm only making this video because I've done it or its equivalent. This will not be most of you, and this is not an everyday thing for anybody. That being said, again, I don't make any income claims. My results are not typical. I'm just here to show you the reality of what is possible with cold email. Nothing more, nothing less. So this is geared towards agency owners and B2B business owners who are doing north of 10K a month already. This is more advanced stuff. If you're just on the border of that, don't worry. It's important to be ahead mentally. So I would recommend you stick around and watch. Beginners, same thing for you. You must also have some sort of premium offer, and we can work on this, but think 3 to 5 times the price of your current offering. We spoke about this in a previous video, how to sell $20,000 offers over cold email. We spoke about premium offers and how to make that make sense to a prospect and or client. You should go watch that video if you haven't already. I've embedded it in this document. Now, the single most important thing behind all of this, behind making 6 figures with cold email, is the math. You have to understand the math. You have to do the math. So when it comes to doing the math, before we even start the calculations, the target size matters. So I've been on calls with folks who are definitely within definitely meet our minimum threshold for a business we would take on or consider for client work. They're doing north of 30K a month, really, great margin, so on and so forth. But the reason why we weren't able to take them on as a client is because after mapping things out, their total addressable market was too small, right? Perhaps they only worked within a certain geographic region or a certain city, or only New York or only Toronto, Canada, wherever it may be, whatever it might be. And if you think about it, we can send tens of thousands of cold emails per day. You're going to run out of, if the market is too small, you're going to run out of possible leads and candidates and folks you can reach out to very quickly. So target market size matters. Second, the cold email math, I've shown this calculator on my channel multiple times before. You can get it on my Gumroad as well, but I would also always just assume a 1% response rate. This is like it's a safe bet. I always try, when forecasting results for clients, I always try to take the most conservative estimate possible and then over deliver from there. So I always assume a 1% response rate. Now, we'll come back to the calculator and the math in a second, but let's talk about what makes this possible. So what makes this possible to generate $100,000 with cold email? And it's not out of this world. You can do that with ads. You can do that with cold calling. But in this case, we're talking about cold email. And what makes this possible and what makes you able to do this so quickly and so efficiently without a huge sales team or an appointment setting team is the scalability of cold email. So essentially anyone with a $500 a month budget can make this mathematically work. And we'll talk about the calculations in a second. So AI allows you to complete the end-to-end process of cold email. So idea generation of a campaign to actually launching the campaign within an hour once that process has been refined. And after that, it's about pure volume. It's just about sending enough emails and testing enough campaigns. If it's your first time here, I've embedded a video in this document. You can find this video on my channel as well. This is a video of me doing this on camera, screen recording myself doing the entire thing. And this video is about 20 minutes long. On top of screen recording, I was also narrating it. So you can imagine how quickly I do this when I'm not screen recording and narrating. But this is also me having refined a process already for a client of ours. Now, the next thing is, in contrast to ads, you can send as many cold emails as you want, and by and large, your cold email spend stays relatively the same. It does increase. It increases incrementally, however, with more inboxes and as you expand your infrastructure. But the most scalable form of cold outbound is always going to be cold email. It's the most scalable form of cold outbound versus cold calling versus ads. It just is. To make 1,000 cold calls, you're going to need to hire some folks, right? Or you're going to need to buy more time. For example, sending 1,000 emails and sending 10,000 emails in a day requires the same amount of effort and the same amount of time. And that also provides the fastest results, 7 to 14 days from launch to cash collected, and has the least amount of time constraints for fulfillment versus the other methods. So now that we've talked about the scalability of cold email, let's go deeper into client acquisition strategies and how cold email fits. So perhaps you're doing something else already in your business. Perhaps you are already cold calling. Perhaps you are already running ads. How can we make cold email fit? Does it make sense to make cold email fit? This is a conversation I have a lot with businesses, especially because when they're doing north of 30K a month and now north of 80K a month, they already have some sort of client acquisition strategy. It's usually ads mixed with some other thing. It could be organic content, whatever it may be. It could be word of mouth, but they usually have some sort of client acquisition strategy. It might be cold email, in which case we come in and refine that and improve their conversions. But let's talk about blending and layering client acquisition strategies. And this is the playbook beyond 30K a month. So this is how we scale from beyond 30K a month is layering cold email in with whatever else you might have. If we're scaling you from, let's say, 5K a month or whatever it is, which we wouldn't do. But I'm just saying, if this is you, if you're operating in that range, you can make cold email your entire client acquisition strategy and have no problem. If you really want to scale, we're talking to the $1 million ARR range, you're going to have to layer cold email with something else. And you're going to have to layer something else with cold email. So if you're running ads, you're going to have to layer it with cold email. If you want a client acquisition system that is bulletproof, because we all know what happens when Meta readjusts their ads algorithm, for example, right? So, and that's just one of many examples we can give. If you're running organic content, same thing with YouTube, Facebook, wherever it is that you post. Anyway, so layer this in with paid ads, and we won't get into ads just yet on this channel. It's also important to note that this is never binary. And I tell this to prospects on consultations and sales calls all the time. It's never one or the other. If you really want to maximize the amount of profit and generate the most amount of deal flow possible and convert the most amount of deal flow to cash flow possible, you got to layer both. So it's never one or the other. To scale beyond 30K a month, we want to incorporate both into the business. This is likely where we are going next as a business, Vintascale, but the optimal playbook leading up to 30K a month is still to do cold email first, and cold calling can be layered. Now, combining everything. So now we have the following in place. So I'm assuming that we already have a premium offer, so an offer of 5K or more in place. And this is still very, very much on the low end. Our clients typically build 20K and up, and even that's conservative. And second is, I'm assuming you have the infrastructure to send 1,000 emails per day, which comes out to about 20,000 emails a month. This is our absolute minimum baby threshold for internal campaigns for ourselves. For our clients, we like to aim for the $5,000 to $10,000, the 5 to 10,000 emails per day range. Now, let's go over the mathematical assumptions. So this is important because the numbers give us the clearest idea of what to expect, right? How realistic this $100,000 with cold email is in a certain time frame, right? So assumptions: sending 1,000 emails per day, Monday to Friday. So 5,000 emails per week, which is 20,000 emails per month, assuming 4 weeks. In terms of funnel conversion assumptions, so we're assuming a 1% reply rate. This is not counting automatic replies, out of office replies, things like that. We're assuming a 20% reply rate. So I actually hedged this down a bit from 30%. We're assuming a 60% meeting conversion rate, and we're assuming a 30% close rate, especially if you are a founder still closing. We're assuming a 30% close rate of any meetings booked. So deal value is $5,000 per closed deal, or per deal generated. And then revenue goal is $100,000, like we mentioned at the start. So all things considered, once we do the math, you're looking at 20,000 emails in a month, 200 replies, 40 positive replies, which turns into 24 meetings, which turns into 7.2, rounding down to 7 closed deals within 1 month of campaign launch, which at a $5,000 ticket comes out to $35,000 in revenue in 1 month of campaign launch. So let's talk about where we can hedge expectations and where we should hedge our expectations, because again, I always like to take the most conservative estimate possible. And then if we over deliver, then it's all profit and we over deliver. So where we should and can hedge our expectations. In this math that we just did, we are assuming the following. We're assuming that the offer is already dialed in. We're also assuming that the meeting conversion process is also dialed in, right? So, you reply quickly, what to say to get them on meetings, so on and so forth. You're assuming that we have reached out to the direct decision makers from each company. We are also assuming that it's a relatively short deal cycle. We are assuming deliverability and inbox management is being done correctly. We are assuming 1,000 emails per day without any missed sending days between Monday to Friday. We are assuming cash is being collected up front. We are assuming that you find a winning campaign in month 1, and winning campaigns are typically found within 3 months. You can still scale B-grade campaigns. And lastly, we are also assuming that you are pushing a premium offer, which you should be if you're doing anything more than 10K a month and you have some case studies. So with that being said, we're going to hedge our bet a little bit here and turn things down just a little bit. So where to hedge expectations? We're going to keep reply rate at 1%. We're going to keep positive reply rate at 20%. Yeah, we're going to keep positive reply rate at 20%. We're going to scale down meeting conversion rate from 60% to 45%. We're going to keep close rate at 30%. And we're going to keep everything else as was. Moving forward with these assumptions, we're looking at 1,000 emails per day with a 1% reply rate, a 20% reply rate, 45% meeting conversion rate, 30% close rate. So with these adjusted expectations, you are looking at an added $27,000 roughly in monthly revenue. And it would take you about 4 months of consistent sending to reach that $100,000 in added revenue to your business. Now, that was with a $5,000 offer. So what happens if we sell an even more premium offer? And this gets into the territory of the clients that I work with. And this will give you an idea of why We have minimum thresholds on pricing and ticket size for our clients, but also just how much of an impact billing high ticket has on your business's profits and top line. So at an average deal size of $20,000 per deal with a revenue goal of $100,000, this comes out to about 5 to 6 deals. And if you send 1,000 emails per day, Monday to Friday, that's 20,000 emails per month. A 1% reply rate means 200 replies per month. A 20% positive reply rate means 40 positive replies per month. A 45% meeting conversion rate comes out to 18 meetings per month on average. An average close rate of 30% comes out to 5 to 6 deals per month closed. And with an average deal size of $20,000 per deal, everything dialed in, you hit your 100K target in 1 month of sending. Now, of course, if there's a slower funnel, or perhaps your closing rates, meeting conversion rates, positive reply rates, or reply rates are weaker, perhaps there's some deliverability issues. In a conservative scenario, we'd be looking at 2 months to hit $100,000. And in a really strong dream scenario, we're looking at just 2 to 3 weeks. So takeaway, and this is very important, assuming all else is in place. So assuming that the ICP is defined, assuming that the total addressable market is big enough, assuming an average client lifetime value of at least $8,000 or more, assuming that you bill $20,000 or more, assuming that the ironed out sales process is in place, meaning you can close the leads that we generate on your behalf, or you can close the leads that you generate with cold email, the speed in which we can launch and scale cold email campaigns and layer them with any other client acquisition channel or integrate them into any client acquisition strategy, especially when combined with a high ticket premium offer, allows us to begin generating hundreds of thousands of dollars in deal flow within weeks and inject additional 6 figures of cash flow into any B2B business within weeks. Now, in terms of my offers, we currently have a wait list activated for my main agency offer. I am currently working on a mentorship offer / mastermind / coaching offer. I will keep you all posted via here and my mailing list. If you haven't signed up for my mailing list, I would highly recommend you do so, especially if you are a business owner, agency owner, you're an aspiring business owner. I give out a lot of free stuff on there multiple times a week and a lot of tips on what's working in the world of AI, cold email, cold outbound marketing, and entrepreneurship, period. If you have any questions, leave a comment. Otherwise, see you guys in the next video. I'm out. Peace.